Baby. Come on, guys. Well, he's on patrol. So as you can tell, we're in the home office of Sioux City, Iowa. Just kidding. Don't say that. So as you can tell, I'm in my backyard. We are preparing for the work week, and then we're going to be going on a camping trip next week. I'm super excited about it, and I thought I've never done a kind of a tour of all my camping gear. And I really enjoy watching guys on YouTube that kind of show what their setup is, their equipment is. And I thought, hey man, got some time to kill, take you around and show you. Now, I don't know about you guys, but we get weather like this, kind of makes me want to smoke salmon. So I'm stacking up my fridge for some future camping trips, and hey, smoked salmon's the bomb. So I got a pretty good deal on some wild caught Alaskan king salmon. Figured I might as well smoke some salmon while we're hanging out here in the backyard going through the truck camping gear. So what I did was I did a dry rub this time. The dry rub consisted of 2 parts brown sugar to 1 part kosher salt. And I went ahead and covered the salmon, let it sit basically overnight. After it sat overnight, it really just pulled out all the moisture in the salmon, and it became very, very firm, which is pretty firm now. And then I went ahead and added my favorite thing that I like on smoked salmon, crushed black pepper and red pepper flakes. We're doing an indirect smoke on my Weber grill. I have briquettes that have been burning, a small amount of briquettes. I only want to keep the grill to about 150. And then I have learned from numerous screw-ups that you can over smoke your salmon. So we're not doing that today. These are hickory chips. But what I like to do with the hickory chips is I soak them in water. I'm gonna go ahead and just add a bunch. And I'll probably run the smoke will last a little bit. All right, that looks good for now. Well, let's go ahead and try not to smoke it. We're gonna leave the holes open just a little bit. So let's get a good temperature, 40. Okay, we're going past 150. Okay, so I need to snuff it a little bit. Right about there. Okay, see what happens. Okay, back to the truck. Here it is, guys. She's rebuilt and ready to rock and roll. I'm pretty much starting with mile 0. The old engine made it to 326,000 miles on it, and it was not all highway miles. I've took it all over the place for many years. I bought this truck used with 140,000 miles on it back in 2007, and yeah, it was due for the new engine. So they just did a fantastic job, but that's the new powerhouse for this truck. I consider my truck build a no build with a few exceptions. Exception number 1 is right over here. Go ahead, come up here. He's a big dog. When I have my seat in here, he doesn't fit in it, and I needed to figure out a way to be able to have him in the truck comfortably. So I made a platform for Wally. And the platform kind of just fits in here like this. So I guess out of a no build-ish truck camping setup, this is the buildy part. It worked great. It keeps up a nice little platform. I got space underneath here to store stuff. Give me a truck, show him again, truck. Okay, so he hops right up there. He's all about it. Good dog. Okay, go ahead, get down. Good job. Works great for Wally, and then when I'm camping in the truck, if I'm doing an overnight and I need to stash anything in here, I got plenty of room to stick stuff. So one of the other things that I have in my truck for truck camping is rescue gear, you know, self-recovery gear. I don't have a winch, but I have everything that makes me feel comfortable in the backcountry. As you guys know, travel pretty far back into the El Dorado National Forest and a few other national forests because I prefer camping on public lands. I really enjoy going off the beaten path, but doing that, there is a little bit of risk. So the first thing, besides any kind of recovery gear that I have, is I make sure that I'm not going in any place that makes me uncomfortable. Where I keep most of the recovery gear in my truck is Toyota has these spaces in here, kind of like Han Solo when he's flying in the Millennium Falcon because he's a smuggler and he's got to stash his stuff. Everything that is on this table is the recovery gear that I bring along with me. Luckily, I really haven't had to use this stuff yet, but oh, knock on wood, knock on wood. It is, well, I tried to pull a guy out once, but I didn't have good stuff. Anyway.
Shit.
Oh, Jesus. Oh, he did it. Yeah. Good job. A lot of the stuff I bring just in case I find anybody that's in distress. I really like to be able to have stuff just in case somebody needs help. I want to be able to help them and also help myself if I ever need to do that. So I have jumped a few people, so starting with this piece of mine, Super Start battery charger, jumper. These things are a lifesaver. Inside the Tacoma, right there, that's a shovel. I keep a shovel on me for digging me out if I get stuck in the snow or the mud, or you need a shovel for anything. A while ago, I upgraded to a tow strap that is kinetic. If I need to yank anybody out or anybody needs to yank me out, that's totally doable. Along with the tow strap, I have soft shackles, hard shackles. Oh yeah, he sees something in a tree. Oh, you guys can't see it, but there's like seagull way up there. Where was I? Oh yeah, this fits into my receiver, locking receiver. You can put your shackle on, and if you need to yank somebody, this is kind of the safest way to do it. Also on my truck, underneath here, this is a full-size spare. All sorts of sockets and little tools and things like that. I do keep a bottle jack inside the truck. There is also the stock scissor jack that goes with the tire changing equipment that is located in the truck as well. One of the other things that I have, just in case, and because I had room for it, since I don't have a winch, I got an old school come along. It's more of peace of mind than it is anything, but it fits in my recovery area, so might as well. Bottle jack goes back in this back corner of the truck, and then the Super Start sits right back over here, like that. Let's check our salmon. Okay, it's like 150. Okay, I'm gonna add a few more briquettes. I'm gonna add a little more smoke. Let's get into the fun stuff. Let me show you what I got in the camping department. Mic check, testing, 1, 2, 3. Okay, so, all right, so this is my Ozark Trail cot that I've bought many, many years ago. And the only bummer about this one, like most cots, are gonna be too long for the Tacoma short bed. So this is another one of those little bitty builds of a no-build truck camping setup that I actually had to do. Let me show you what I mean. So it's like 75.5 inches is the truck bed to where I can shut my tailgate. The cot itself was longer than that. So what I did was I dismantled it right here on both sides, and then I cut off 3/4 of an inch on each side. I don't remember because I did it a very long time ago. And then after I cut them off, I put the little plugs back in, I re-drilled holes, and I reassembled it. So it shortened the length of the cot. Also, where it fits around the wheel well, I cut a leg. I shortened this leg up and made this out of kind of wood blocks and some duct tape. Handyman's secret weapon. Made it to where it sits snug in off the wheel well. These right here are what hold the cot in place, and they came out pretty far, so I've saved some space on that, and I went ahead and cut these off. The trickiest part about doing this was that I needed to tighten up the fabric. So what I had to do, and I'm pretty fortunate, I got my grandma's old Kenmore sewing machine, so I went ahead and took up the slack and sewed right along here so that when I pull it, it sits just like that. And that's kind of the last part of the 2 builds of my no-build truck camping setup. So let me show you how it fits. So let's go ahead and shove it in. One of the things that I'm always making sure that when I go camping, because I always bring my dogs, is that they are comfortable. Harry I don't got to worry too much about because he can crawl up inside. He usually sleeps under by my feet in the sleeping bag, and he's one of those dogs that likes to sleep next to you anyway, so I don't really worry about him. Wally, God, who's just as a snowblower when it comes to shedding, Wally has to sit on patrol. If he could, he would like to be outside the truck. He'd sleep right next to it, but I keep him inside the truck when I'm going truck camping just so I can keep an eye on him. But what I do with him, since he's such a big dog, is I take his bed. So sometimes I'll put this underneath his bed so it's very well insulated when he's in there. So let's go ahead and show you on the inside. Like, come here, show you, buddy, you go up here. It's too high for him to jump, but he knows the drill. Okay, scoot over. All right, cool. All right, now, as you guys can tell, there just isn't a lot of room in the Tacoma, but it is fantastically comfortable in here. You can't really sit up. I usually like to hang out outside truck anyway. Oh, no cramp, no cramp. I got a cramp, cramp. I'm cramping up. I didn't eat enough bananas today. Where was I before the cramp? So anyway, I can shut this. I have a full-size pillow, plenty of sleeping bags. Over here is a heater buddy. Now, I rarely use the heater buddy. I find it just I don't really need to come into my truck and have it blasting heat in here. I like to bury myself in my blankets and it just works well for me. Anytime I turn that thing on, I just get kind of uncomfortable. I do keep it just in case for emergency purposes. Maybe I'm with somebody that's freezing to death. Maybe I need to save their life. Maybe I need to have a heater buddy for something. Let's go check out the living room part of the truck camping setup. I don't want to make this video too long. This is already a pretty long video. The chillin' spot where I do most of my camping. First, let's start off with my chair. This is a modern version of the old school chairs that your grandparents had. This thing is my favorite chair. Check it out, it folds flat. I prefer this style of chair, one, because it pretty much just says Ryan all over it, and two, it's nice and firm. So I sit in it, it is comfortable, and I'm not sitting in like a little bucket kind of a thing, like I call them soccer mom chairs. They're the ones that, you know, you can kind of collapse up. The collapsible ones are cool because you could, you know, they're a lot smaller to stash and this and that. But I just find them really uncomfortable after a long hike or just maybe a long day of beer drinking. I want to sit in this comfortable chair. I have different types of chairs that have like fold out things on them that are just a little too bulky for what I do and what I like to do. This is pretty much it. Okay. Other thing, this is a Coleman aluminum, it's a Coleman aluminum fold out table. Do you mind? The fold out aluminum table, I don't always bring the table, but I always kind of like to have my end table here when I'm sitting on beers. A lot of times when I'm camping, I am writing down notes, writing down jokes. There's like having this little space to eat off of and to have just makes my camp feel a lot more homey, and I really enjoy it. It's a place to put your Coleman Powerhouse dual fuel lantern. You guys know this thing, right? Jesus! Ho! Come on, lantern. Oh, jeez! Come on, you can do it. Why are you doing this? Why do you always have to light on fire like that? I'm not gonna light it because I don't feel like burning my eyebrows off. This is a great source of light. It fits in my truck perfectly. I have a great case for it. This is a Coleman soft case, and I have my extra mantles in there. The other chill part about the living room part of camping is this. This is my Camp Chef propane fire pit. These propane fire pits are the way to go. Right? I mean, boom. But with the propane fire pit, you're gonna need propane. And I always bring the big bottles of propane. But one of the things that I really enjoy about this brand, Camp Chef, is it's not a cheap brand and it is very, very efficient on propane. So I do not go through a lot of propane. I was actually kind of amazed. I have this thing on all day and it barely burns anything. Unlike my charbroiled propane barbecue over there, which I cook like 2 tri-tips and I gotta go fill up the propane. What's up with that? Anyway, that's pretty much the living space. Harry, are you still in the truck? That's Harry. Harry. Take a real quick detour to show you what I do with the garbage. One thing I like about having old beater trucks is I put magnets right there on the paint. I don't recommend doing this to new paint jobs, but then I will just go ahead and garbage bag or some sort of garbage bag that I got there. That's where I put the garbage. And then we will stash it in our big garbage later. Also, before we hit the kitchen, one of the big questions, especially if you're just kind of starting out and you're like, where do you go to the bathroom? Like, where do you go number 2? Well, there's lots of options to go number 2. If you're truck camping and you have the option, I recommend taking your waste with you. Out of the many different kinds of camp toilets you can find, there's like cassette toilets, there's big bulky ones, there's ones that just kind of hang a little bag out from underneath it. I want to make sure that my solid waste is secure. So this is a toilet seat that you can get at Walmart. They are not like super indestructible, but they're super lightweight and they fit on a regular old 5-gallon bucket that you can get at Lowe's or whatever. Now, here's what I like about these. A regular old lid, okay? This will seal it up really, really good. But inside here I have my toilet paper, and then these are cedar shavings, the kind you can get at like a pet store, or I go to the feed store, you know, for like bedding and stuff like that for animals or whatever, and I buy like a big old thing of this for like 20 bucks, and it lasts all season. This is what's gonna cut down on the smell. Inside are these. These are the garbage bags that I use for when I do big trash cleanups. These are not wimpy ones, these are expensive ones. What you do is you just put your bag in there, get it cinched down to where it's nice and smooth. That way everything's gonna be contained at the very bottom. Take a handful or a scoop of your shavings. This lid fits right on top of that, and that's pretty much where it'll sit during my camp. This is all ready to go. You can, usually I like to find a nice view. Is this video becoming too long now? When you're all said and done, you're getting ready to leave, you take your bag, tie a big old knot in it, compress it back down, and then that's all sealed up. So there's nothing coming out of here and it's all definitely sealed. Then I put my cedar shavings, my toilet paper, nap this guy back on. This isn't going anywhere. Not sealed up, perfect, ready to get all the way home. And then you can go ahead and dump your waste in your garbage like you normally do. So far, it's the best toilet system that I've found for camping in the backcountry for doing what I like to do. It works great. Highly recommend it. Let's check the salmon. Ooh. Oh, that looks pretty good. Been in for an hour and 10 minutes. Oh, this is 157, 156. Oh, oh. I'm gonna take this inside and let it rest. Oh. So we are at the final part of my camping setup, the kitchen. This is what I have found works best for me and works well to shove all into my Toyota Tacoma. Oh, by the way, if you guys are still here and you're still watching this stuff and you like this sort of thing, do me a favor. Go ahead and hit the subscribe button for me. Drop me a comment. Let me know what you think. I really appreciate all your guys' support. Back to business. So, camping table. I have mini camp tables. I have 5-footers. I have 4-foot. I don't even know what this one is. This one I like because, as you'll see in a second, it fits right in my truck, just under 4 feet. Call this a 4-foot table. On top of the 4-foot table, let's talk about the water situation real fast. This is my Coleman cooler. This is insulated. Fill this up with about 2 gallons of fresh water. I use this for everything you're going to use water for, but also I carry, you guys have seen those big blue 5-gallon, 6-gallon water jugs. A lot of the overland guys carry those inside their rigs. I have found that I like having to be able to move around water when I need it. So I prefer just to get and refill the gallon drinking water. That way I can, this is 3 gallons right here for an extra 2 that's in the other one. So this is a total of 5 gallons. And if I need to, I can move this stuff around. So I can take a gallon, hide it over there, move it over there. So just for space wise, I like the ability to have many different places to put smaller 1-gallon things instead of just a big 5-gallon, which would just take up a lot of space. So down here is my camping bin. Inside a camping bin, you guessed it, everything you need for camping. I pride myself on my sticker collections. So this is a pretty big camping bin, but it works well for me. I keep all my miscellaneous stuff for things in here, everything from all my utensils to the cooking stuff. I got game cameras, I got mosquito abatement. Basically, this is the giant kitchen drawer. Okay, my cooking setup. Most importantly, my cast iron skillet. This is a 10-inch cast iron. It is well seasoned. It cooks breakfast burritos for the road perfectly, and you could use it as a weapon. Pow, pow, pow. I got this silicone rubber holder on here. This is an old beater lid that I found a very long time ago, and this is dedicated to my camping stuff. I usually kind of set it in there like that when it goes inside my camping bin. And then usually what I'll do, now I don't really wash dishes on the road. If I'm going on like a road trip, then yeah, I will bring a bin to wash dishes. But for the most part, I will just wipe clean all my camping stuff and then I bring it home and wash it back here at home base. This is a Coleman oven. I love the Coleman oven. I do French fries quite a bit. I cook the tater tot casserole in this thing. Anything you would highly recommend this guy. These things are great. What I also like about them is that they, check it out. And it just folds up like, there's an ebb and flow with these things, but it folds up flat. And obviously I'm not gonna bring this with me all the time, but if I'm cooking French fries or something, then it's definitely coming with me. This guy, the venerable dual burner Coleman camp stove. I love my Coleman camp stove. One thing that I always recommend doing, you obviously don't have to, but when I watch guys go camping and I'm like, oh, that thing's gonna get dirty, they're not gonna be able to clean it very well. If I'm cooking a lot of bacon on this thing, or if this thing gets full of dirt, these things unscrew, and then I line it with foil. So that's pretty much it. And then you put this back on, and then you can just clean it. It keeps it clean. I had this thing so dirty, I almost threw it away. And then I was like, man, I'd rather take care of my stuff and make sure it stays clean, so it just lasts for as long as you can keep it. And then I have magnets actually up here holding foil up on top. This thing obviously is going to fold up. You guys like me, pride yourself on some stickers. Look at this one. Yeah, that's it right there. Quando omni fluncus moritari. Sit down. I'll do a little more in depth on this for my friends out there. Hot dog's my #1 thing to cook. This is my hot dog cooker. My friend Rich, hey, wiener extender. Look at it. I love this thing. It's even got like a swivel on it. But anyway, now, what I didn't show you is I am seriously getting away from all the green propane canisters. Yes, I still do use them. I have one on my heater buddy right now. That's just because I haven't ordered a new one of these yet, but it's 8.6 pounds of propane, and this is the way to go. Those green ones are just hard to recycle. I know there's companies out there that do it, but the more bang for your buck is I just get this sucker filled up, and you can plumb this into anything that you use those green things for. In case you need it for steaks, the good old-fashioned Peter barbecues. I don't know what brand it is. It's probably Ozark Trail, knowing me, but oh, I take my regulator off and put it in a Ziploc bag so it doesn't get corroded. And then, yeah, if I'm gonna be cooking steak. All right, guys. I'm getting the meat sweat. Or something like that. You can use this, and again, you can plumb this right into your little bitty propane canister. Works great. So I don't always bring the barbecue, but when I do, I have this barbecue, fits in my truck great. I love this thing. This is my Stanley Percolator coffee pot. I turn out great cups of coffee in the wilderness with this thing. Yeah, it's better. I have a French press for my jet boil. I have drip coffee systems. I have instant coffees. This is my favorite way to do it because I'm truck camping. I got everything to use it. You might as well go big. Get your thing, coffee holder. Excuse me. Food. I have 3 things. All right, most important out of all these 3 is guess which one? That's right. This is my Yeti Roadie cooler. Keep your beer in there, nice and cold. This one keeps ice for a very long time. Now, there's lots of options for keeping your food cold. I have, actually a few companies have reached out, like Iceco and a few other ones are like, hey man, you want to test out one of our, our electric refrigerators for your truck camping setup? And I honestly kind of turned them down because they don't have one that's small enough for my needs. Everyone is just these big suckers. But the other thing that is weird about me is I like beer on ice. I like the sound of it. I like how cold it gets my beer. I'm not a fridge beer guy. I don't have a beer fridge in the garage. I have a beer cooler in the garage, and I get ice. I'm an ice guy. It's what I like. I'm sure that might change as time moves on, but for the most part, my beer cooler is gonna be ice, and that way I'm not worrying about any electricity or anything like that. And if I'm gone for more than a day, I can find ice somewhere, trust me. Pretty good at it. Those electric fridge guys can make something that's the size of your Coleman chiller cooler. I'd be all about it. This is the perfect size for me to carry anything that I need in the fridge. So this is like where my potato salads go, my mustards go, everything that needs to be refrigerated, and not on ice, but refrigerated, like your peppers and, well, you see, hot sauces, whatever else. Anything you're gonna treat like you're gonna put in a fridge goes in this cooler. Yeah, okay, so that's that. Now, how I used to just take a grocery bag to put like my buns and my other dry goods in, but I have found this case fits that stuff perfectly. This is what I call my pantry. This hard top thing, I think I got it at Lowe's. And in here is where I'm gonna keep, oh, there it is. I found it. This is a squirrel call, watch. Sound like a squirrel? No, a little bit? Anyway. So inside here is where I'm putting my coffee, I'm putting my buns, things that I don't wanna get smashed, my chips, anything that's gonna be like in the pantry, your donuts, whatever, is gonna go inside here. And that holds it all down. That, in a nutshell, guys, is pretty much the camp kitchen. Well, let's go ahead and shove everything back in the truck here, and we'll wrap this sucker up. There. Top of that. Keeps everything secure. Okay. Right here. There. Okay, guys. There you have it. Wally's bedroll in here. All right, guys, look at. What do you think? So, in a nutshell, that's my walk around camping tour of my 1999 Toyota Tacoma and my truck camping setup with me, for my dog Wally, and my other dog Harry. you guys actually hung out for this entire thing. Thank you so much for all the support that you guys give me. Make sure to drop a comment if you can. Let me know what you thought about it. And yeah, if you think we earned it, hit the subscribe button for me. We'll see you guys in the next video. Ooh, we gotta try the smoked salmon. A couple of good pieces on that, huh? Look at that. All right. Look at this. All right, let's give it a taste test. Oh man. Yup. That's got, oh, woo. Dude, this is good. This is some straight up salmon jerky. I don't know if you can have this. It's got black peppers on it. Okay. Oh, that's good. Woo, black pepper. Ooh. Sound like a squirrel?